Teddy Roosevelt once said that comparison was the thief of joy. Well, after years of torturing myself, I can finally see the profound wisdom in that statement. Whether it was comparing myself to others or comparing myself to the woman I used to be, that habit was very toxic. It was keeping me stuck and it was making me miserable. So I decided one day that I was just going to stop. And I did. Now, it wasn't easy because, of course, this is a habit that most of us have been doing since we were little girls, right? And for as long as we can remember, we've been comparing ourselves to others. So it's not necessarily an easy habit to break, but let me tell you something. Once I broke it, it was like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. It's like this dark, incessant, nagging feeling is gone, and it's wonderful. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why comparison is it's doing nothing for you, and it's stunting your growth too. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I did to stop, and hopefully you'll have the same experience, freedom. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Jen Whiting, and this is my channel, Midlife Unmasked, where together we peel back the layers of some of midlife's biggest challenges. This stage of life can be brutal, but it can also be liberating. If you choose today to bravely take ownership of all of your choices, the ones you've made and the ones you continue to make every day, you can enjoy a future full of love and meaning and excitement for the future. I hope you click the subscribe button so we can be in this together. So here are just a few reasons why midlife can make us more vulnerable to getting sucked into the toxic game of comparison. First, societal expectations. We live in a society that puts impossible standards on women. As Gen X women, we were brought up believing that not only can women have it all, we should have it all. I mean, what does that even mean? Like all of the burden, all of the pressure, all of the people pleasing and overachieving and making sure everyone else's needs are taken care of before our own? Yeah, how's that worked out for us? I mean, whether it's in our careers, our marriages, or our physical appearance, the pressures that society puts on us as females can make us feel worthless. And social media doesn't help. I mean, we're looking at these tiny little choreographed snippets of other people that can make us feel jealous or depressed or not good enough. Most importantly, what it does is it distracts us with BS, with nonsense from what's really important. And that is our own evolution and our own growth. Next, we're living in a time of major shifts and transitions in our lives. Whether it's our families, our careers, our marriages, or our physical selves, it seems like everything is shifting, even our tolerance for bullshit. Everything is changing. These changes naturally can make us start to reevaluate just about everything in our life. Did we make the right choices? Did we marry the right person? Did we follow the right career path? Should we have done something different? And then when we look at other women and we compare our choices to theirs, it can be really easy to start to have like the FOMO, like the middle-aged version of FOMO, fear of missing out, where we feel like we've missed something in our life. So we have to be careful that we accept all of our choices for what they are and that we did the best we could at the time and keep moving forward. I think that one of the biggest reasons that we fall into this comparison trap has to do with perimenopause and all of the physical changes and emotional changes that are going on in our body, a biological change. We don't feel the same anymore. We don't have the same energy. We're not sleeping as well. We can't even have more than a glass of wine for some of us without feeling hungover for the next day, but everything is changing. So, it's natural to kind of look back and say, oh, I miss that. I wish I could be more like that. And I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't occasionally look in the mirror and like pull my skin tight and say, oh, I remember when my eyes were up a little bit higher, but you know what? I wouldn't trade places with my 35-year-old self for anything. I love who I am today. I had to work hard to become the woman that I am today. And it came from a lot of trial and error and mistakes and picking myself back up. But you know what? The woman that I am today, I love her. I am proud of her. So I wouldn't change places with her for anything right now. So I'd really try not to look back too often because I'm not going that way, and neither are you. You're moving forward. So that's where we need to focus. So here are some suggestions about how you can kind of reframe your thinking and break that habit and finally get off that comparison hamster wheel for good. First, when you're making a comparison to another woman, remember that you're really never making a fair comparison. Because what you're doing is you're comparing the worst things about yourself that you feel are the worst character traits of yourself against a perceived perfect snippet of somebody else. And most of the time what you're seeing of them isn't even real. It's choreographed, it's filtered, so you're not making a fair comparison. And doom scrolling on social media is really just such a waste of time, and it just makes you feel terrible. So I'm going to ask you to be very mindful about the amount of time you're spending on social media. Just don't sit there all day on it. It's toxic. Limit your time, and for God's sake, if you're going to follow people on Instagram, follow people that make you feel good. Follow accounts that make you laugh, make you smile, make you inspired. Don't follow accounts that make you feel lousy. You have to use your own free will choice to make that decision. No one else can. I can't come into your house and say, get off social media. I can do that to my kids. Well, I can try anyway. But I can't do that for you. You have to do that. And when I did it, it was life-changing. So now I make sure I have my app on my phone so I can read a book, or I can read, something else about, something I'm interested in, whether it's gardening or whatever. But you have to fill that time with something else that is actually good for your mental health. But doom scrolling is really always going to be a losing proposition. Next, you got to change the narrative in your head when it comes to other women or things that we see in the media or social media or just out and about. Here's an example. Let's say that you see a woman on social media that's about your age. You got to make a fair comparison here as much as you can. And why would you compare yourself to a 20-year-old? I mean, come on now. Let's see what she looks like after she's had a few kids and a divorce, right? Compare yourself to someone similar, an apples to apples comparison, and she's in great shape and she's fit and she works out every day and she's just the vision of health. Now, you have some choices. You can rip her to shreds to make yourself feel better. You can turn in on yourself and feel like you're a loser and that you haven't really accomplished anything. Or you can choose to feel inspired, and you can use the word inspired. This woman inspires me. She inspires me because she's doing the things that I know I need to do. She takes care of herself. She puts her health first, and that's what I'm going to do because I am inspired by her. And then you can use her example, her inspiration, to start making the improvements that you want to make in your life. This is just one example, but you can apply any number of things to it. When our first reaction is to rip apart another woman, usually there's something deeper going on. And there's something about her that triggers something in us that we're not facing, that we're not dealing with, or that we're not really settled with our choices. So try to reframe that narrative from comparison to inspiration. The only person that you should ever be competing with is the person that you were yesterday. Not the woman you were 20 years ago, but the woman that you were yesterday. If you find yourself spending a lot of time replaying your greatest hits, it's time to dig deeper, to recognize that the woman that we are today is the sum of all of our experiences. The good ones, the bad ones, and the what the hell was I thinking ones. We can't have one without the other. Without the bad, without the good, you wouldn't be who you are today. So I urge you to dig a little bit deeper and start planning. Start thinking about the woman that you're going to be 6 months from now, the woman you're going to be 6 years from now. Because I've got news for you. You are just getting started. So try to think of it that way. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope that you found this video helpful. Please don't be too hard on yourself. We're all going through some version of this. But I just want you to know that you have gifts to share with the world. Now, you might know what those gifts are, and you might have just started a journey to figure out what those gifts are. But whatever they are, they're meant for good in this world. You are a force for good in this world. And if you spend too much time worrying about what other people are doing, you might miss it. Also, If you find that you're struggling and you need some more support, please don't hesitate. Talk to your doctor. Find a therapist. God knows therapists have helped me so much over the years. There is no shame in asking for help because at the end of the day, it's all about evolution. So I hope that you find whatever it is you're seeking and that the rest of your life can be the best of your life. In my next video, we're going to talk about the importance of developing a growth mindset as we go into this next chapter. I'm going to talk about a book that I absolutely love that helped me to develop a deeper growth mindset for myself. I think you're really going to love it, and I think it's really going to kind of put everything into perspective. So if you haven't yet, please go down and click the subscribe button, and I hope to see you soon.